My name is Cameron Aker, and I am the Outreach Coordinator for Trout Unlimited, covering the Driftless region of Iowa. Trout Unlimited has identified the Driftless region of the Midwest as a priority water in need of restoration and protection. Trout Unlimited is an original partner of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service's National Fish Habitat Partnership. Our mission is to collaboratively protect, restore, and enhance cool, cold, and warm water streams within the Driftless region for future generations. We accomplish this by focusing on reducing sediment and nutrient inputs into our streams, also restoring and expanding habitats to increase the natural abundance, diversity, and health of aquatic life in our streams. Trout Unlimited has also been awarded an RCPP through the USDA's Natural Resource Conservation Service called the Driftless Habitat for the Wild and Rare. This program helps restore and protect cold water fisheries within the Driftless region. Trout Unlimited would not be able to do this work without our partners, whether that be state, federal agencies, our landowners, our growers, our volunteers. Everyone is very key to this process.
Hi, I'm Jenny Melcher. We're here north of Postville on our farm next to the Yellow River. We have beef operation. We have a cow-calf of about 60 cows, and then we milk about 80 Holsteins and a couple brown Swiss. And then we farm. We have corn and soybeans, and this is our rye for our cover crop. We have multiple acres of alfalfa also, so we're very diverse. We utilize our stream banks here in the valley. The Yellow River runs right through our property. So the beef cows and the beef heifers, there's pasture that runs right down to it. So there's also fishing. There's trout in the river if anybody wants to come out and try fishing. And it's just a beautiful property here. We're interested in doing a stream bank improvement because the river is always moving and there's cut banks that are eroding into the river, and with this type of project we'll be able to stop that. And there's a true balance between wanting to utilize our land, but we also want to conserve it. So this type of project will help us do that. This is actually a fairly large project there's lots of planning. This has taken a fair amount of time to do this. We rely on multiple agencies. The NRCS and Trout Unlimited are helping. We have a wetland area that we're trying to preserve and build back, so they're helping. And there's been a lot of meetings, but we're confident that this project will be very positive for the Yellow River. What motivates me and my family to care for this land, I'm a 6th generation here in the valley. The farm that I'm actually standing on was my great-great-great-grandpa's on my grandma's side. There's a lot of history here in the valley when you've been farming for this long. You want to hit that balance between conservation and using your land. So we're trying to find that balance.
My name is John Hermeyer. I'm the property owner here. And I've owned the property, I guess, for about 14 years now. Bought it from Walter Langland back in 2010, and we built a cabin here in 2014. And we're just part-time residents right now, but we'll be moving here full-time sometime within the next couple of years. So for us, this is recreational property. We've been coming into this area of the country, I guess, my entire life. I was born in Decorah, and my mom and dad both graduated from Waukon High School, and I started trout fishing back when I was 10 years old, which would have been back in 1973, and I've been coming into this area ever since, trout fishing all the time. This trout stream was here for thousands of years before I owned the property. It'll be here for thousands of years after I depart this earth. But the streams are always changing. I've been noticing that for 50 years. What ends up happening is you get some of these cut banks that the streams will really start to dig into, and then all of a sudden they'll carve a new channel. And so to the extent that those types of things can be controlled, I think it's great that we're able to control them so that they can keep from really, I'll call it, damaging the area, and try to keep the stream in a particular bank rather than it continually changing. The more that we can keep it kind of contained, the better off that we are. In the long run, I'm counting on the TU, DNR, and the NRCS to know what's best for the habitat, knows what's best for the environment, know what's best for the trout stream, and do the things that are necessary in order to provide for the long-term success of that ecoculture. My purpose in life really is to ensure that that after I'm dead and gone, that the stream continues to thrive and to support the trout population. And so I'm counting on them having the expertise to know what's best for the stream, know what's best for the banks, know what's best for the surrounding land, and to provide the right plan that is going to support the habitat in the long run.
My name is Tony Wallace. I live here north of Decorah. My dad and I have been in operation. I know the farm's been in the family for over 100 years. We raise beef cattle. We have a lot of crops, corn, beans, hay, all that good stuff. So I utilize the streams for pasture for the cows. We use it for feeding, grazing, stuff like that with the water to help. What motivated us in this project was to clean up the banks, to clean up the creek, so it's good clean water coming down through the stream. My overall experience has been a pretty smooth project. It's gone well, easy going, easy to work with you guys. So we're going to utilize these banks. It's going to make for less flooding, easier going, better streams flowing, easier for the cows to get in there, drink water and stuff like that too. So the things that motivate me is I have 2 children. The future, I hope the future for the next 100 years is the same way it is now.
I'm Steve Langland, and I am the 4th generation operating Valley View Farms, which was established by my great-great-grandparents in the late 1800s. They needed to do something to make the ground more productive, so Grandpa got involved with the CCC, and they did contour lines, liming, various other projects. From there, they continued the conservation, and then when my dad and my uncle took over in the 1950s, they continued. We expanded, continued the conservation, and then in 1978, Dad and my uncle were awarded the State Conservation Farm of the Year for the state of Iowa. Well, we were first approached, like I said, by the USDA and FSA, and then Trout Unlimited was involved. And we were kind of very curious. The more we talked about it, the more we thought it was a wise idea. We've always believed in conservation. We wanted to preserve it because North Bear is one of the best trout streams in the state of Iowa, and down the valley, Middle Bear and North Bear merge. So it's a vital tourist attraction as well, and we believe in conservation, taking care of our ground and taking care of our water. Dad and I worked very, very well. We had a lot of cooperation. We were enthusiastic. They were enthusiastic. Basically, we had no issues. It just went so smooth and so slick. And of course, with North Bear, which is now owned by Jay Krause on that portion, the number of fishermen that come in, we've counted from probably 5 or 6 different states. On a given weekend, you may find 10 to 15 vehicles down there. And people have complimented the fact that the ground's been saved and preserved and that the fishing is a great access.
My name is Diane Clark Rissman. I've lived here all my life. My great-grandfather bought the farm in 1908. And it had a mill on it. That's where the name Forest Mills came from. And then later became a cheese factory, and we were a dairy farm up until 2004. And then now we just feed our cattle, and I rent out the land to my nephew. So hopefully someday he will buy it and keep it in the family for another generation. We really enjoyed working with the fish guys and all the people that got this fish project together, and it was painless. We see Fisher all the time. Sometimes they'll stop in and thank you for letting us use the land or the river, and a lot of kayakers. It's a good place. The Yellow River is a great river for the drop of its flow. We have in our stream bank project, we also have it in CRP, and so that's worked out really good so that it gives fishermen plenty of room to move. The upkeep so far has been very painless, because if you have any questions, you just call the DNR. We call Mike over at the Decorah Hatchery, and NRCS is very, very knowledgeable on what needs to be done, and also all of the trout groups in the local area, like Trout Unlimited. They are they're very helpful, and they have been a good source to find out what, and they'll stop in and talk to us, and then just to hear how well the fishing is there has been fun, because they say there's fish all over, which is good. One of the main goals, which I feel that even in our whole family, has always been to preserve the outdoors for future generations, to preserve the river. And we want to make it accessible this way. If our down the road 30, 40 years somebody wants to walk through there, come fish, a relative or something, say, well, this used to be my grandpa's land, or my great grandpa's land.
My name is Mike Sipker. I'm the Northeast Iowa Fisheries Supervisor for the Iowa Department of Natural Resources. And in that role, I supervise 3 cold water trout hatcheries, as well as 2 fisheries management teams and a watershed coordinator. The Iowa DNR works with Trout Unlimited for several reasons. One, we can combine our expertise to improve the design of stream habitat improvement projects. We can also work together to oversee construction at the project sites. And finally, we can combine our forces to raise money for the projects, either through partner donations or through writing grants that support stream habitat projects. The DNR works with Trout Unlimited to expand our ability to improve cold water stream habitat in Northeast Iowa. Trout Unlimited provides expertise on the design and construction of cold water habitat, and we like to tap into those resources when we design projects. They also have a long history of working with angler groups to raise money for stream habitat improvement projects, and we appreciate that they can work with anglers to raise money to improve the streams that those anglers like to fish. In Iowa, about 25 miles of cold water stream is protected by the Iowa DNR's Water Quality and Angler Access Program. This program is something that the DNR implemented in 2010, working with landowners to voluntarily enroll their stream in these protective easements. The easement protects the stream corridor as well as allows angler access on these areas. Once the landowner voluntarily enrolls in the easement program, the DNR works with partners like NRCS and Trout Unlimited to determine which funding sources are best to improve stream habitat on their property. In Northeast Iowa, most cold water trout streams are on private property, and that's why landowners are one of the most important partners of the Iowa DNR trout program. Without landowner cooperation, anglers would not be able to fish most of the stream sections that they do today.